let's call this Arts Commission meeting to order. Do roll call, please.
Marcia Carrington.
Here.
Sean Daly. Alex Domenich.
Here.
Robin Lloyd.
Here.
Chris Parthamore. Adam Ramsdale.
Here.
Brian Stanley. Cable Steineman.
Here.
Martha Weichel.
Here.
Jeff Crable.
Here.
Michelle Newell.
Here.
Aaron Blair.
Here.
Okay, so assuming everybody has had a chance to read over the minutes from July 15th, can I get a motion to approve those
So
I'll make-
moved.
I'm sorry.
in a second?
I'll second.
All right, so moving forward to old business.
Call for ayes on the,
Ayes.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. So moving on to old business. The recap of Sandusky Sunset Celebration Grant Distribution. Yeah.
thank you. So I just wanted to give you a quick recap. We had awarded $3,600 for the Sandusky Sunset Celebration. That was a series of events that GSP organized and produced down on the pier, very casual. They did have live entertainment for a series of weeks, and they sent us an invoice to pay those artists. Well, the artists were paid when they performed, and then this is the reimbursement for the payments that were given out. So their request was $3,150, so that is $450 less than they had requested, so that money will just go, I would assume, allocated back into the programming grant fund, so we still have a little bit of balance on that grant fund. And then I included, they gave us an accounting of the artists that were involved in the project. So there were a musician almost every week, and then they had other artists like chalk art, live painting, face painting, caricature, dance. So I think they accomplished the goal of, doing a variety of things. And it sounds like they're whispering about making it happen again next year. So we'll see what they have to say, but this was just the launch funds for their pilot year, so. Any questions?
I wish they would put out a poster of what's going to happen. The entertainment, because I searched their website, I looked it up, couldn't find anything, because people call in all the time asking, and there was nowhere to direct them.
I wonder if this one seemed like it was more of a show up and find out, but it wasn't an advertised event series, it seemed like to me.
Yeah, let's see that. Let's push behind it.
Thank you.
About old business, I would like to bring up, if we could, have something on an update for the Pieces of Sandusky by Darian Shepherd and how that is going.
I will reach out and ask him. He sent me a couple pictures of paintings that people had done, but I'll ask him for an update and bring it to you next meeting.
And I have a question about that. He asked me if I would paint on one of the panels, but I don't know if I'm allowed to do that being on the commission.
Oh, you're not gonna get any financial gain out of painting on it.
Well, I don't care about that, but I just didn't know if I was even allowed to
Yeah, I
do
mean,
that.
well, it's a volunteer, it would be a volunteer thing if you're not accepting any payment. I don't know, I mean, I'm not a lawyer on, conflict of interest, but it would surprise me if that was a conflict.
Okay, I just didn't know, and I told him I needed to find out if I could do that.
Yeah, I can ask the law department if you want an official answer from, they can't give you counsel, but they can give me counsel
Okay.
on what to say.
Okay, thanks.
Does anybody have anything else with old business? All right, moving on to new business. The Sandusky Christmas Market, $1,500 cultural programming grant request for sound equipment.
Thank you. So the Sandusky Christmas Market, if y'all are familiar, this is an event series. They started last year. They're coming back this year. They were very interested in all the ways they can potentially expand. So I know they added some booths. They're going to have more vendors this year. It's a series of weekends. And they reached out and asked about the cultural programming grant, and I let them know that it was for, the reason we created the grant program was to expand or create new cultural programming, and they came back with the idea of a request for upgrading their sound equipment, because it would help them expand the type of live music and other types of amplified performances that they're able to do. So they shared that in the bottom right, you can see they have a single line array speakers. All the other speakers that are in that photo, that band brought. And it was limiting because they were only able to book acts that had their own sound equipment. So on the other image, you can see they had one microphone for a choir, and they have one line array speaker, which is actually not a whole lot of amplified sound for a big plaza space like Shade Mylander Plaza. So what they would like to do, they are expecting to spend around $2,000. They are shopping a couple different types of audio equipment, and they have requested $1,500 in grant funding for that. This, I think it fits what the intention was for cultural programming grant, because it's going to help them expand their live performances. And it will also, not just for this year, because then it is a piece of, equipment that they can use year over year. So that's why I thought it was appropriate to bring forward and recommend.
My question is, have they signed any kind of contracts bringing them back, like for multiple years now at this point?
I know that they are definitely coming back in full force in 2025, and they've made a significant investment. They purchased more of the stands, so they actually own the stands where the vendors are. They did share with us their program budget, which is like a $200,000 budget for 2025. So it would surprise me if they just don't do it, because they've made such an investment, but this would be no promise. So this grant is just for the purchase for 2025 to expand their cultural programming. It's kind of a positive, side effect that they would be able to use it year over year as well, I guess.
My concern, looking at that photo and what they have you there, I'm a professional audio engineer. I've been doing it for about 36 years. What I'm seeing on that screen is about $2,000 already. So are they looking to put $2,000 in something they already complaining about having?
Well, that's why I wonder if they're just going to buy the same thing so they can sync them up, because most of those line arrays you can
Right,
sync up and
you can,
dispose.
but that would also depend on the band bringing their own. I would hope that they would look at things where the bands show up and do what they got to do, and that's why I would think this is set up. It's like getting the stage for Pride or the stage for the skate park, buying a couple speakers and expecting the bands that are going to be at the skate park to bring the rest of the equipment themselves is kind of risky business. That's the only thing I would worry about that, because those two speakers I'm seeing at mic stand, each one of those speakers run about almost $800, $900 each. And that's only two of them on the stage. A system that's going to run Shade Mylander Plaza is probably going to be realistically more than $4,000 or $5,000 range, if they're going to have something that's portable enough and user-friendly. That's new. If you want to get used, maybe that would be probably some more of a $2,000 situation. But that's my only question with that.
Yeah, I feel like the 1,500 for that, for what I personally experienced with the Christmas market, watching the bands, is even if it's just another set, it is going to be better than what they had last year.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I feel like it will be better than what they had last year, and undoubtedly, we don't have somewhere in here it says what we have left in our
I had it on
funds
the,
available.
there's $2,350 available in that.
And they're only asking for 1,500, and they may be just adding that to
True.
a purchase.
True.
So, because
That's
the Christmas market's pretty over the top, so.
Okay. I did not get to it last year, so I'm just looking at what they're providing for information and going,
Maybe down there last year.
yeah.
It was a great time, but you couldn't hear any of the music really.
That stinks.
So it was something, and it was really nice to see the community come together when it's freezing cold outside, and it brought so much business to Sandusky, so.
Yeah, my thought was that this $1,500 request probably isn't the total of what they're looking to spend, that they're probably
Right.
putting some of their own money into this. and that this is just complementary of that effort.
Especially if you're doing a $200,000 budget and we're growing it that big, you'd think
Yeah.
that, I mean, less than 0.5% put into your entertainment budget's kind of flimsy on that as for the sound system, that is.
Aaron answered my other question, and that was, are they renting the equipment or are they purchasing it? And it sounds like they're purchasing.
Yes, their plan is to purchase it. They own the single line array speaker now. They sent a list of potential pieces that they would do to add to that. And their application itself said that they were planning to spend $2,000 and asking for $1,500 in support, so they would be supplying $500. But there's a range of budgets of what they're looking at between $1,000 and $3,500 for the,
If they need help with
Kids.
that, I would be willing to volunteer to help them
Okay.
get things together
Okay.
with that.
I think we all kind of agree here that it's a modest request. I'd
I agree.
support making a motion. I'll make a motion to accept this.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so there you have it.
okay.
Do we need a roll call on that?
That's up to you. It's good to say any, what did they say? All
Any
in favor?
nays?
Any, yeah,
Any nays or dissenting?
any dissent, any
Same
no's
sign.
or
Any nays?
opposed,
All
that's what it
opposed.
says. All in favor,
All
aye.
opposed.
Opposed?
Same sign.
Hearing no opposed, motion passes. That's what, like it's like a little song in my head.
Yeah, okay. Hearing no opposed, motion passes.
Okay.
And that brings us to the City Hall Art Gallery discussion.
Yes, so City Hall got painted. The hallways got painted. And I was asked to take all the art down, so, and it's, it's not a ton of work to put it back up, but it's quite a bit of work to put it back up. And we typically pick a new theme and a new installation in the fall anyway, so I was gonna ask for your permission to not put the gallery back up and just go ahead and move forward with looking for new art for our next installation, if you would be comfortable with that.
I think that's very feasible,
You do.
so.
Appreciate it.
Can I get a motion to approve Aaron's request?
I'm not sure that I can make a motion, but I'll make a motion anyway.
I'll second.
I'll take a risk.
And with that, well, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With that, so that's approved. Is there any other new business anybody would like to discuss?
I'll mention, I messed up the title of this slide, but my intention was to show you the last 4 years of the themes of gallery themes. And if you'd like to discuss a theme tonight, I can prepare the call for artists for the next installation of the gallery. So in 2021-22, we had Change and Metamorphosis, then Revival, Emergence, and Time. And then this most recent gallery was Connections. We've typically just talked about those at a meeting, and you all have given me a theme, so anyone's inspired to discuss that, or we can punt it a month, you tell me.
Well, I always agree that the more vague the theme is, the better.
I agree.
Me too.
So how about something like transitions or advancements or?
I would say, because it seems like we have a theme of like a path, a journey, right? So I was thinking maybe now we look at what happens at the end of the celebratory side of it, the accomplishment, maybe. Champions,
I even like just journey.
yeah, that's maybe
I like
that.
journey.
I like Journey.
Yeah.
I do too.
I like
Alright.
that. 'Cause it seems like that's what we've been looking at as the city's evolved. We've been a part of this
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
And now we're coming to a point where we can look back at what we've been doing for the last 4 years.
Yeah,
Sounds
I agree with that.
Well done.
I think it would be that easy.
All right.
Do we need a motion?
Sure, if you want, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to run with journeys.
Second.
At the store.
Yeah.
All right.
Aye.
I was gonna say, all
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so it's Journey.
Great.
So, does anybody have any new business? Yes.
I want to go back, it's kind of old business, actually. We had talked at one time about doing some kind of signature piece at the intersection, I think it was Market and Columbus. and I've never heard anything about it since. Now, I think I missed one meeting, but
That's the Columbus Avenue streetscape, that's.
it was
should be
part
coming
of,
up.
well, it was kind of a, part of Streetscape, but kind of a follow-on too, and I'm not
Yes.
sure whatever came of that.
We have funding set aside for that. The next step would be to, I think, decide on a budget, or maybe get proposals first. So what I would recommend is that we craft a request for
RFP?
qualifications and for a consultant, because an RFP, you have dictated price, or we could do either one. An RFQ is qualifications, and we look at the firms and see what we like, and then pick that, and then start talking about a price with the one that we like. Request for proposals, you ask for a proposal and a price, and then we have to pick the lowest and best. So we have to pick the one we like, but it's also has to kind of be the cheapest one. So a lot of times we do, for consulting, we do qualifications. So what we talked about in the past is engaging with a consultant with a small portion of the fee we have to conduct community engagement around what that public art looks like, what shape it is, and then have them design the call for artists for us, so we can have somebody that knows how to reach a national sculpture artist audience and get good proposals. So then we get proposals for the art itself. That's kind of how I had envisioned it. And my assumption was that we would start it about now, but I hadn't factored in we're gonna have 3 seats changing from our 7-seat city commission. So I think it would be wise to just wait a little bit so we make sure we know those incoming city commissioners are able to be engaged in that process, so they are able to shape that process. Because I would hate to bring something that we all work on together to them to vote on. They're like, wait, we didn't participate in this. What are you trying to do?
Having been one of the newbies not all that long ago, I appreciate that sentiment.
Yeah. Perhaps I learned a bit from the last round of changeover.
One other thought that I would share with you is I would love to get some public feedback. You know, what would people like to see?
Absolutely.
Or, you know, what do people want to just rule out from the very, you know, jump on this?
Well, didn't you say that's what the consultant would do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we would run it kind of like a planning process where we would have like a public meeting where we go for a walk and we all stand around and maybe they're doing some sketches or workshopping with us or stuff that I used to do before I came here. And maybe
Yeah,
run a survey, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just share my own bias in this. I really don't like hiring consultants because they will give you the benefit of what they know, for sure. But I also believe strongly in, you know, what local people want and think and that sort of thing. And then this body, you know, has to weigh in as
The
well.
consultants
And
have
there's
the
a great
access
deal
to
of
the artists.
I was just going to say, I think the most
That's
important
what we
part-
need. We don't know how to reach the
It's-
artists. We don't know how to advertise for,
Yeah, this, for this project, we would need a consultant.
And some of them are exclusive, I think. They
Okay.
have a consultant for that
Yeah.
purpose,
That's-
and we can't, we got legally can't even
Can we
contact
still
them.
bring in,
I don't
though,
like
like the
spending money
public,
on this.
like,
Yeah.
or is
Yeah.
it only like what those people want?
no, I think that it's a community, it's a local
it's still the community still involved, it's
process
just these
of what
people
it, what the look, shape, feel, style, vibe-ish is.
Then it goes
And
to-
then
okay.
we write a proposal, an advertisement that says, here's what we want. Show us what that means to you as an artist. And we need somebody to help us design that call for artists. Because if I send out my call for artists, we're gonna get a bunch of, I mean, we just don't have a broad network of artists in our database now to reach out to.
I agree.
So-
Absolutely, and I think that the process that you want to take, Aaron, I think is 100% correct on that. And just because it's a consultant doesn't mean that they won't consult the public. So, like, they put their stuff together, but they also have a feel for what the public wants, but they're able to be the middleman, the bridge between getting the artists that do that type of quality work for all that we've saved up and handing it, you know, back to our public.
I am but one voice.
Yeah, when it comes to the arts, it's pretty tricky. Like,
I think
It's
that's a very
frustrating
valid
when you have the
position to have, though,
ability to
you know,
solve
always
I mean, I think
question
it's
that kind of
important
stuff.
to have like the community be part of it, also understand that we need help.
I'm not a fan of middlemen until I figured out that sometimes the only way you can get the people you want is through that middleman. And this, in entertainment and art, that's huge.
Yeah.
They have professional representation that you can't contact them individually.
You're not getting there any other way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if we end up finding a team that has done this before, they'll be able to share what they've learned from other places, like, and how to solicit proposals for sculptor, or whatever it ends up being. I'm just making an assumption that's going to be sculpture.
Wouldn't there, with the sculpture program, has there been any sculptures that we all really liked a lot that we could, also, like, go to that person and for a proposal?
I think that part of the process when we're in it would be like identifying if there are target artists that we want to reach out to. One of the reasons why our work plan has gotten more pages the last couple of years is because we've had a lot of conversations about Columbus Avenue. So I've taken care to document the artist, the location, and the budget, if I know it, of all of the potential projects that we've even looked at just as like inspiration for the Columbus Avenue piece, or the downtown piece, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I think building understanding what that call for artists looks like and what that proposal process looks like is a huge part of understanding, conducting the community engagement to see what people envision, what they really don't like, what they might really like, and then actually putting out a call for artists. I have read, there was one that we talked about, I can't remember whose process it was, but they actually did a call for artists, and then the top 3 proposals that they liked, they actually paid each of those artists like $1,000 or something to develop that concept even further. So then they were able to pay artists, more than one artist, to be involved, and then actually get a really fully developed concept before they, made the move to hire them to do the piece. So something like that I think might be really interesting. That would be a way to get a better idea. It depends on what proposals we get, I guess. If there's sometimes you get it and you're like, oh, that's the one, that's easy, but it could be that there's lots of discourse about it. I'm not sure how we'll.
Might take 2
get
rounds,
there.
who knows?
Right. But typically, if we want to do an RFQ, if I write it and advertise it, they're typically advertised for like 2 to 4 weeks. So that would be that time frame, and then it's like we can interview. So a lot of times there's like a selection committee internally. I haven't run one with a group like this before, so I'll talk with engineering because they run a ton of stuff. I mean, obviously not public art solicitation, but lots of project solicitation. So I'll get with them and see how they think like a couple members of this body could be on that scoring, or I could bring it to you all in like a vote, like sometimes I've done, you know what I mean? Like I'll just see how to involve this group to get that forward. Then city commission has to sign off on it, and then we would get engaged, and then they would manage a project and run some public meetings and meet with us and that sort of thing, so. But I've done a lot of defining scopes of processes, so that's something that's definitely in my wheelhouse to bring to you.
Would the call go out to all artists, say in the United States, or would it just be local, or?
I mean, I think that we have the budget to attract a nationally known
Because
figure to
there's
this
like
project.
I don't know if you know, I forget the exact name, it's called Cafe. It's like,
You have mentioned that to me.
yeah, and you see things like that where
Yeah.
they're called for artists for installations and community projects.
Yeah, we would be building a database of that sort of thing. Like, where do I post this? Who do I send it to? So we make sure we broadcast it loud and
Okay.
clear when we're ready. So that way we can attract something cool and that we're all excited to be part of.
I'll try to find that link and send it to you.
I think, I do believe that you are on the right track for this, because this Columbus Avenue streetscape, like, this piece of art particularly, we've saved up for a very, very long time. And to see that move forward, it's something that we want to last for many, many, many years to come. And I think that that is something that needs to be reached out nationally, like with the artists. So through the consultant, I seriously feel like that is the correct way to go.
I can bring in a potential timeline for that, to think through like what the buckets of time looks like, to move forward on that process.
Well, That's it. We need good quality piece. Does anybody have anything else? Nothing? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Practice.
Class is this.